Hi, I'm Jamie, and welcome to Teachers Tech, and welcome to my Microsoft OneDrive Beginners tutorial. If you're new to OneDrive and want to get the most out of your cloud storage experience, then follow along with this step-by-step guide to Microsoft OneDrive. Microsoft OneDrive is a cloud storage platform. It allows me to take files from my computer or my mobile device and upload them to the cloud. Once they're there in the cloud, I can access them at any time, from anywhere, from any device. Now, these files can be from a number of different types. They could be Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or Excel, but they can also be things like PDFs, images, or videos. Not only can I just upload my own files, I can also create brand new files inside OneDrive. And once these files are there in OneDrive, I can quickly, in a couple clicks, share these with other people and actually collaborate in live time with them. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be looking at from a student or work account here and going over all the great things that you can do with OneDrive. So first of all, let's get into OneDrive, and we can do this in a few different ways. Now, I'll put the link to this page down below. You could sign in with your work or school account here. If you don't have an account, you could create a free one, but it will look slightly different than the one I'm showing you today, and you're not going to have all the same functionalities. So you could go ahead, get signed in, or here's another way. How I usually access Microsoft OneDrive is right through my Microsoft 365 account. If I'm logged in at this point already, all I need to do is go to the app launcher in the top left-hand corner, and you're going to see all the Microsoft apps I have access to. OneDrive is right here, and I can just go ahead and select it. It brings me to the home view right here. I can tell that I'm in the home view because this is highlighted. In a moment, I'll go over the layout here. I just want to show you one other way that you can access it real quickly. If you're using Microsoft Edge, take a look over on my right-hand side. I have Microsoft 365 here. If I select Microsoft 365, I have the apps right here also with OneDrive, but that's with Microsoft Edge. If you're using a different browser, just use one of the ways I showed you previously. Now, I want to explain the different views that you see here in OneDrive and how you can even customize your settings. So I'm in dark mode right now, and I'm going to show you how to change that to light mode or even some different ones as well. So if we go over here to the navigation pane, it's open here. If you don't want this open, if you want a little bit more real estate, we can close this just by selecting this, click it, and it opens up again. Now, what you're seeing, we have home view right here. This is over here. This is kind of AI recommended the files that I might want to have quick access for. I've clicked on these a bunch of times and they're saying, oh, you maybe want to access these again. Versus down here, you see the most recent files that you've worked with. These are just the types that you can filter. So if I was going to look for just Word files, I could select this and it filters through this. I can also filter by name or person over at this point. Now, if I go over here, before I continue all these, if you take a look here, I can add new. So this is where I was mentioning I could go ahead and upload files from here. I could upload an entire folder from here, or create folders, or even brand new documents. So if I wanted a brand new Word document, I could do that right from here. I'm going to go over that a bit later. When I switch my view to my files, so if I go to this right here, what I'm saying is all my files inside Microsoft OneDrive. So these are different folders that I've created, and inside these, I would open these up and I'd see even more things. For navigation purposes, notice that there's the breadcrumbs here. So if I want to go back one level, I can just go hit My Files and it goes back to that one level, and you'll see the breadcrumbs get created, and you can just navigate through that way as well. If I go over here, these are shared files. So if you're working with different people, I don't have any that will pop up here. I also have favorites. So what that means is if I wanted to quickly add something to favorites, I can do this in different ways. But if I go back to the home and just hit this star here, this has been added to my favorites. If I go to my favorites now, there it is. So if it's an important document, again, you just want that quick access to, you could add it to favorites. And we have our recycled bin. That is where we're going to put our, if we wanted to take out any of our deleted items. Down here, I can also browse by people that I've shared with or they've shared with me, and even meetings that files were shared during a meeting. You'll see some links down here. This is a Microsoft 365 account, so I have access to things like SharePoint or Teams, and I'm going to have these quick access points that I can go over to a SharePoint, those files as well. So I'm not going to go into this part. It's going to be more about creating files and how to make sure that we're sharing files and everything. All right, let's just do a quick customization. If you don't like the dark mode like I have, or maybe you're in light mode and want the dark mode, go up to your settings right here and take a look at this. So we have our OneDrive settings, and then you can go through and choose what you want. Dark mode is here, so I can toggle this off and go to light mode, but I can also pick some themes, and you'll see how it adjusts as I click on different ones like that. You can see a few different settings that you can go through and adjust here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually log into a different OneDrive account with nothing in it so we can start from scratch and do that step by step. Here we are in a blank slate OneDrive account, never been anything uploaded to it. Let's change that by uploading some files. So we'll do it first of all just by clicking on this, Add New. We're going to go to File Uploads. Now, as soon as I go here, I have on my desktop, I just have a folder here. I have a few different things, some PDFs. You can see there's a recording MP4. Let's go and grab this Word document right here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it. It's going to be uploaded. Now, if you can see, it's being uploaded here to this. It's a little larger, this document, but it's going to go up to OneDrive. This is all uploaded now. I can go ahead and open it from here. I'm going to go to My Files. Watch, when I go to My Files here, here it is right here. This is what I just uploaded. You can see when the last time it was modified, it just got uploaded a few seconds ago, modified by Ashton, and it gives me a little bit more information on it. I want to just point out different ways that we can view things, but I'm going to upload a little bit more and I'll show you a different way. Now I'm going to stay in My Files right here, and I'm just going to go to this folder that I have on my desktop. And rather than hitting the Add New, I can drag things over. So if I go ahead and drag this over right into it, I don't have to go through that Add New. It can upload just through a drag and drop on it. And the other option, if I wanted to take the whole folder in, I could drag the whole folder in this way, or I could go ahead and add the folder this way. I'm going to drag the whole folder, and this will make it that I have actually a couple different copies, because inside of this folder, I'm going to have copies of in here that are already uploaded, so it'll be uploaded again just within a folder here. If I take a look now, I can see 4 items in here. I'm just going to go ahead and open up this folder. I have a video and an image. If I click on these and open them up, I can view it at this point. Notice I can just exit out and it will go back to this view. Speaking of this view right here, you can change this. If I drop down, switch profile view, I could change how I see things. So if you wanted the compact list, it's like this. If you wanted tiles, it shows kind of the example, what it is. So it just makes it a little easier if you're going through lots of different things to know exactly what that file is, but it takes up more room that way as well. So I'll just leave it as this compact list for now, but you can make those adjustments there. We also can sort. You can see if you have a long list, do you want it ascending, descending? Do you want it modified by a date or time? You can click any of these right up here. So if I was going to click, do I want it A to Z or Z to A? It will just go ahead and change the alphabetical order of these. Or even if I chose a different one, like file size, I could go larger to smaller, smaller to larger, and it adjusts it through there. So different ways. If you're searching through any of these, that's how you can kind of just, if you have a long list, if you're looking for a large file, it can move it to the top just by changing the file size. Something else I want to point out, with your OneDrive, if you're on a different device and wanted it on, you can download these too as well. So if I wanted this picture here, if I click these 3 little dots here, notice I have a download option here, and this will download it to my computer. It's selected, so if I go back and if I just go to My Files again, if I go ahead and select it here, We can have a couple different options up top here. I can download as well, but as soon as I'm selected, I get all these different options that I'll cover a little bit more later on. So that's a little bit about uploading your documents to OneDrive, the different methods you can. Now, if I was going to go ahead and create something, what I could do is I can right click as well. So anything I can just go up to add new, like I showed you before. Maybe we want to start with some organization. I could go to folder. At this point, what do I want this to be? So this is just going to be an example today, and I'll just call this example. I can choose a color of the folder. So it's going to be blue, this one, and hit create. Notice this was the one I uploaded. I can still adjust this. I can change the names. I can go ahead and see all the different actions. I could rename this. So if I didn't want that 000 there, I could remove it. I could change it to a different color. So I could color code all my different files on this. Take a look at all the different options that you have at this point. With any time, I could move these, download these, rename, all these different options. I'm going to come back to manage access as well. If I right click on these, I get the same different options as that as well. So inside, if I go inside this example file for here, I can go and add, let's say, a new Word document. I could go to Word document here, and I'm going to give this a name. This is going to be, let's say, I'm going to close this. I'm going to go and just give it a name up top here. This is going to be called travel. And I can see the location where it is just in that example folder. And I'm just going to go ahead and write something on here. And I'm going to close out of it right away. So I'm just going to go and close to this up top. And you'll notice here, sometimes I have to refresh this, but if I go ahead and just refresh this, there it is right there. And this, these marks up top here show me this is new. And I have all those different options like I've showed you before, that I can download this as well. I can move it. But if I go ahead and open this up, everything that I just did was already there. So I could do this in different files, whether it be PowerPoint, Excel. I can create them right from OneDrive. So what happens if you're working in something like PowerPoint or Word or Excel or other Microsoft Office? So what happens if you're working in Microsoft PowerPoint or Word or Excel or other Microsoft products and you want to save directly to OneDrive? You need to make sure that you're signed in. So if I go up to the sign in, I need to make sure I sign in with the correct account to that OneDrive. So I'm going to go ahead and match the account that I'm in with this demo here today. As soon as I'm signed in, notice that this changes up here, shows what account I'm in. Let's go ahead and save this. So if I go over to File and Save As, I get some options. Is it going to be OneDrive or Sites? Well, this is OneDrive I'm talking about here. So I'm just going to make sure I have OneDrive selected. I'm not saving this on my computer. Here's the folder that I already created that I showed you as an example. Let's go ahead and save it in here. The name is just called dogs. I'm going to hit save. Now I'm back over in my files in OneDrive, and here it is. I saved directly from PowerPoint into OneDrive, and I can always open it up from here, or I could even select from here, and it's going to open it up online. So I could actually even edit it from this point. So it gives you lots of different options. Even if you're using the Microsoft apps, you can save directly to OneDrive and work online or even directly through the app. A great collaboration feature in Microsoft OneDrive is to request files. This can save you a lot of time. So let's give you a little example here. Let's say in this folder, I'm going to request files. I want people to upload pictures of their dog, so maybe they can add it to that PowerPoint we were creating. We can go ahead and give it the topic there, hit next, then we can invite people to this. So if I was just going to go ahead, invite the different people to this, and then they're going to get a notification to upload the pictures of their dog to that photo. Then we can save a lot of time collecting the information we need. We just have to hit send. They'll get notified and they'll know what to do. And the other thing is, we will notify you when someone uploads the file. So I'll know. I won't have to be just waiting, checking all the time. I'll get a notification for that. I think I need a little help with this PowerPoint here, and I want to be able to give people access this to help and maybe add some more slides or even take a look at this. Now, I can do this in a few different ways. If I go ahead and hover over it, you see the share right here. So wherever you see this, is going to be your quick access to share this with other people. If I click these three little dots, you notice that there is the share here. If this is selected here, the share is also up here. So there's a number of different ways that we can get to our share. If I go ahead and just choose the share here, you'll get this dialog box that comes up. And this is where I start adding the people to share it with. And I'm going to go ahead and share it with my other account here. And I can add more than one person. So I could go and add more people to this, and they're all going to get messages about this is shared with them. But how do I want to share this with? So if I go ahead and drop down, do I want them to edit? Maybe I just want them to view. I don't want them to change anything. I just want them to take a look and then let me know. And I really don't want them to mess this up. But in this case, let's say edit here. And I'll just give a message here. I'll just say, can you take a look? And they can make changes as needed. So at this point, I can hit send, and then it will get notified inside their OneDrive. And I am going to switch over to this account so you see what happens from that end with something you get shared at. I could actually even copy the link as well. So anyone with the link can edit. I could go ahead and copy this link by selecting this, and I could go and paste it in an email or send it, and then they'd be able to edit it if they have the link, because this says anybody with the link. But I'm just going to go ahead and hit send like this, and I'm going to hop over to the other account that I shared it with so you can see how it looks coming in. So I'm back in my other account, the one that was just shared with me, and take a look right here. I'm under my home view, and I have Ashton shared this with you. So I can go ahead and open it here. But if I take a look at shared, it's also coming up in here. If I click on people, it's also here. So just showing you how that share works and the different views that you can click on to access that different levels of share. So if I go and open this at here, I can go ahead, since they gave me edit access, I can open it, I can make changes to this and add my own information. The other thing I want to point out, when I shared it with myself there from that account, if I go over to my Outlook mail, there was a message in my Outlook mail that Ashton shared a file with me. So they're going to get notified that way too. So let's move back to the other account and do a few more things in Microsoft OneDrive. Now I'm back over in Ashton's account, and you can see if I look at the different columns under sharing, we can see that it is shared here, and I can actually see the activity. I can see that it's shared with the other my account and one other, and the activity was 19 minutes ago. If you want to manage access quickly, if you want to take away sharing, you can do this in a few different ways. If I just click on the shared here, this opens up manage access, and I can go ahead and stop sharing at this point. I can also grant access here as well. But the other way I can do this, if I go, you'll notice that there's also manage access here. Like always, there's always multiple ways to do this. I want to point out something else too about any of these files. If we go back to the ellipsis again, and we'll open that up, and let's look at details. So details will give me kind of all that information about that file. It gives me the preview, who has access, and I can go through and see this information on it. Sometimes as you get lots of files and you're not sure, or maybe you open it up and you want to see kind of the path, you can go through and see the path that goes through here on it. So, and you can copy the direct link as also. But do take a look at the ellipses and all the different things that you can do to this, because you can move it from here too. So if I wanted to move to a different folder, I could go move, and then it's going to pop up with the structure. So I could go to my files, I could put it in OneDrive examples, or I could just leave it out in the open. So if I hit move here, and you're going to see that this is going to disappear from here. And if I go back one level to my files here, it will be right here. You can also move this in different ways. If I have this selected, I can click and drag this now. So if I wanted to back an example again, I could drop it, and it's going to go ahead and put it back in there. So there it is again. So some quick ways to change things around. If I go back to my home view, you can see that it shows me the files that I've been working with here, the most recent. There's only been 2 in here so far. I can make those quick stars from here or from my files if I know if I'm accessing this lots, and I can go back to my favorites here. All right, just a few more things I'm going to show you with Microsoft OneDrive. Version history is an important feature to know about Microsoft OneDrive. I'm going to go ahead and open up this dog's PowerPoint here that I've already showed you. And you saw me from my other account make a change. I deleted this information here because I gave edit access and then that person made a change. But look at this. If I go up top here and I go to version history, and you'll notice that there's been some changes right here. So this shows the breakdown. I can expand this. And I can see Ashton modified it, Jamie modified it, and then back to the original. So if I go back to this, I can see now this isn't deleted. I could hit restore at this point. So even though someone else changed it, I can go back in version history to get it back to the way I had it before in case somebody does change it. So this is something valuable to know about with the Microsoft OneDrive and then in the different Microsoft apps. So let's say you go and delete a file. So I'm just going to go and delete this Word document, this travel one, and go ahead, delete it. You can still get this back. If I check in the recycle bin, you're going to see it right here. If I go ahead and select this, I can restore from here. I could delete it permanently if you want, but it's going to be in the recycle bin here. So I can go ahead and restore it. It takes it out of here, and then I can go back into my files. And if I go ahead and just refresh it, you're going to see it back in place. So if you accidentally deleted something, you can still restore it quite quickly. Let's explore the meetings view. So if I click on it right now, nothing's in it. And I'm under the Jamie account here, and I want to create a meeting from this account, and I'm going to share it with the Ashton account to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to jump over to Microsoft Outlook here, and I've created an event, and I've invited Ashton to this, and I've actually attached the dog's PowerPoint. If you want to learn more about how to use Outlook, I'll attach my videos to those tutorials on how you would do this. But I'm going to go ahead and hit send. And now I've moved over to Ashton's account. You can see the name. I'm going to go to meetings and look at this. So tomorrow, 8 a.m., dog PowerPoint, and there's the file. So I can choose this. I can open up the dog's PowerPoint from this way, and we can work on this together. So that's a handy feature using the meetings, how everything's connected into OneDrive so you can share these files very easily. So earlier on, I showed you how to create folders, and you could create folders inside of folders and structure it just kind of like a computer, and you could go to try to find a certain file. But after a while, you might get hundreds or even thousands of the files, and it could take a while to find it that way. But what you should be doing is taking advantage of search. Now, look at this. If I was looking for that dog PowerPoint that we created and hit this, notice it doesn't come up because it's actually not one of my files. It's under all files. I'm under the Jamie account here, and Ashton was the one that created it. So if I go to all files, I get it because it's actually shared from Ashton's and I have access to it, but it doesn't come up in my files. So make sure you know to switch between different ones. The other thing you can do is filter your searches. So if I go over here to open the filters pane, you can be searching by modified by time. So if it's oldest or all the way up to today, you can change this. And I can even look at type. Is it a Word document, Excel, PDF? So you can really narrow it down, because if you have thousands of files, it will help you find exactly what you're looking for. And is it connected with people or email addresses? I could go ahead and add that. So then your search becomes quicker and more exact to what you're looking for. So make sure you take advantage of search inside Microsoft OneDrive. So earlier on, I showed you how we can use PowerPoint to save to OneDrive. We can do the same thing with Word, Excel. We can just save to OneDrive. It makes it that easy. We can also install an app on our computer to make sure that the files just sync automatically. We can use it to back up things on our PC. Let's go up to the settings here, and we're going to go to Get the OneDrive apps. And we can install the app. You can install it on our mobile, or we can install it on our computer. So if you don't already have it on your computer, you can go ahead and hit download here. So what I'm going to do is just change the size of this window here. And I want to be able to show you how it's working with the online and also the app on my computer. If I go to the bottom right-hand corner, I already have this installed. So if it's not blue right now, you'll have to click on it and log in with the account that you need to access. So if I click on it, what I'm going to do right now is open the folder. So I have the online view right here, and then I have the folder. So I want to show you, if I go ahead and I'm going to just take this right here and I'm going to drag, it says PDF files, it has a few files, and just drag it into here. Notice that the status here, it's going to be syncing back and forth between the online. So if I go over here and just refresh this here and go to, I want to make sure I go to my files here. I'll expand this and I want to be under my files. And now if I look at it, I have PDF files right here. So when I just put it into this spot here, it got the check mark. It told me it's now being done sync. I can access those files online as well, just by dropping them into this spot right here. So this syncs right through here. Now, I want to point out a few different things. I'm going to go back to just back one level to all my files. And you might be wondering, why aren't these files showing up over here? If I go back over here, and I'm going to go up to the settings to show you a few things. If I go up to my settings, I want to point out, now I can manage my backup. So if I wanted to back up, desktop or pictures or documents, this is so large here that it's saying that I don't have enough space to back this up, and I don't want to back that up anyway. But I could turn these on and it will back up these items to my OneDrive. The other thing I want to point out is that we have our account here, and I'm going to go choose folders. Right now, if I go through and let's go ahead. So here's apps and here's apps. If I select this and hit OK, notice I have apps over here now. So this is syncing. This took it from the OneDrive online and put it on my computer so I could be placing things in that file. So I'll do that one more time. If I was choosing the signature one right here and hit OK, now that's there. So if I was going to be working within those certain files, I could upload them here. Wherever we see the cloud, like this means it's living online. So this, these copies aren't on my computer. It's just online. I can access them. I can work on them. So if I go ahead and open them up, I can see what's in them, but that little cloud symbol means that it's online. I can change this if I want it on my computer. If I right click on this, notice that you have some options here. If I look at always keep on this device, if I go ahead and select this, what's going to be happening now, it's going to be downloaded. When I get the green check mark, I know this is going to be on the computer here. So it's stored locally on my computer. If I go back a level here, it shows me which ones are on my computer. So there's the check mark and which ones are in the cloud. Make sure that you go through and set up your settings. So go up. We can go to the settings up here and then check to see which way you want to have things backing up. Is the right account there? Choose your folders. And then we have things from notifications here that you can turn on or off here. So check those out, and it can save you a lot of time when you're editing and just working on your computer, and you know it's automatically syncing with your online version as well. This brings me to the end of this Microsoft OneDrive beginners tutorial. Let me know if there's something else you'd like to learn about OneDrive or other apps with Microsoft or other ones as well. Thanks for watching this time on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next time with more tech tips and tutorials.